Hi everyone. Some of you may remember I did a couple of live streams where I was working on the address book, and these are some of the pages you may remember that I worked on during those streams. Well, over the past few months I've been working quite a lot on several more of the pages, and I would like to get the outside of the book covered and get all the pages in place and do a flip through for you. So I don't know if I will get all of that in this one video or if we might have a two-parter here. So we'll just see how it goes time-wise. But I'm gonna scoot these over for a minute. I went ahead and gave the cover a couple of coats of gesso and did the inside and the outside, and I'm going to insert a picture right now so that I can remind you of what it looked like to start with. It's just a basic little address book, and I just wanted to change it up. So what I'm going to do today is, well, for now to start, I'm going to cover the book, basically collage a lot of the same types of papers that I used recently on my video for the canvas that I made, the Happy Place canvas. And I'm going to put, the same kind of thing. I'm still using up a bunch of these papers and scraps and things that I have sitting around, and so I'm going to do that again. I thought all these pages, are so colorful in here, I thought I would make the cover just a little bit more subdued. Now, I might, once I get it covered, I might add a touch of color here and there. I haven't decided just yet, but I want to see how it looks first, and then I'll decide that. And if I do put any color on, of course, I'll show you what I'm doing too. So I'm going to probably put this portion of the video and fast forward because you guys have seen that process before. I'm just going to be using the 50/50 glue and water that like I used before. Oh, and someone asked me also why I used the glue and water mixture instead of, like, say, the Collage Podge or some Mod Podge or something like I typically would do. And the reason for that was because on the very bottom layer, the glue and water works just fine. And I'm going to eventually put a coat of the Collage Podge or something like that on the top to seal it. So it's really more cost effective to use the glue and water on the bottom layer. As long as you know things are going to be sticking properly, then you're okay. And then I use the top, the Collage Podge or whatever for the top as a sealer, and it leaves a shine, and it seals everything all in. And it just seems kind of I guess kind of wasteful, to use the more expensive products on the very bottom layer when they're not really going to be seen. You're going to have more stuff on top. So that was my reason for doing that. So I'll be doing that once again today on this. for the inside covers, I'm going to use a piece of sheet music, and before I attach it though, I'm going to cover it with this napkin. So it's really muted and not like in your face. I kind of wanted the inside to be a little bit more toned down because it will be next to the colorful pages. So I'm just going to use a little bit of Collage and attach the napkin to the page. So now I'm going to just attach these to the inside covers, and I'm just going to use a ATG tape gun and some glue to attach those. So we're all done, and I put a coat of Collage on the cover, and so it's nice and finished, and everything's sealed down, sealed in. And I really like the way it turned out. I like the way it's mostly black and white neutrals with just a few pops of color on there. I really think that made it really fun, and I'll enjoy taking this down off the shelf and looking through it just because it makes me smile. So you can see that this is how many pages that did get completed for this book, and it's pretty fat. So I brought the camera down pretty close so that I can do a flip through, show you all of the pages inside. And we'll start with the made a little title page, and I wanted to do this so that I could see the address book page and I could remember that that's what these pages used to look like. And so I think that was just cool, because you know how your memory is. You can't always remember what things look like when you started with, when you alter them. So I did this little quick little titling, and just thought that made it pretty fun. Of course, it bled through because I used Sharpies, but I don't care about that. This is what was the most important to me. Okay, so these pages, most of them are just wipe up paints and using up excess paint from other projects. Occasionally, when I found a picture that I needed or that I wanted to put on a page, I would accent with additional colors. Like in this case, I accented with a little bit of green. There was a little bit of green already on the page, but I accented with a little bit more around it. It just kind of made it more cohesive. So, so that's what I did on a lot of these. They're just, you know, for the most part, magazine images and magazine words. Same here. This one is a label I printed off of my with my label maker. I like these little like fireworks. Got a little sparkle to them. I don't know if you can catch that. There we go. It's kind of cool. I brushed on some Wink of Stella pen. Made them sparkle. So I love finding images in all kind of magazines to be able to do this kind of thing with. And this one was just a floral image, and I added the hummingbird onto the picture. So that was fun. You'll see a lot of birds in this book because, you know, I love birds. That's part of what I love. This was one of the originals pages that I did, and I'll link those videos from the live streams when I was working on these originally, and so any of you who haven't seen those, you'll have an easy link to find them. I thought this one was funny because he's a sock monster, and he literally doesn't have any hands. It was really fun finding words that went with the pictures. Takes a while, you know, none of this happens overnight. All of this took place over several months. But it's fun finding words that go along with this, like the mouse seeing the shadow of the cat there. That's funny. And then no way. So I really, really had fun working on this book. I hope I don't have a lot of glare. See if I can tip the book a little bit. Maybe it'll take the glare off. And don't be afraid to use magazines that have words, images that have words on them. There are words down here, but you can't really see them too much because I took a dark colored marker and I colored over them and kind of made a shadow under the bicycle. But those words are right there, but you really don't notice them anymore because of that. So you can use markers and you can use paints and stuff like that when your images have a little extra stuff on them that you don't want there, you know. So this one was fun. This is an image from a fashion illustration book that I have, and these are my border morsels. Those are stacked up shirts. I think it was shirts that I'd made my borders with, and then I just doodled the little flowers on the scallops. So that was fun. It turned out great. Matched all the color. Man, you know, really popped the page. I loved it. And this one too. This one was a really colorful page. It was one of those that I had. I believe it was one that I had collaged a bunch of stuff on. Maybe not. Maybe it was just a bunch of color painted on, but it was just way colorful. And so I toned it down with some white paint on bubble wrap and just stamped over all that color, and it just made all the difference. It made it pleasing to the eye instead of, like, you know, blinding. So that was neat. This is another one of those images that had stuff in the background here that I didn't want in my picture. And so I painted it out with my finger. I just got several colors of yellows and grays because that was kind of what the background colors were. And I just used my finger and dabbed it in there, and so it gave it like a, you know, blotchy looking background. And it totally covered up the stuff that was there. So don't discard or think you can't use a magazine image just because it's got stuff you don't want on it. Just paint over it. is little bits of washi tape that I had kept from another project, and I just stuck them to the page and outlined them, made it part of my border. Use it up, right? Use it up. I've used this little doggy in another collage book that I've not really working in right now, but it was in a composition book, and I used that same little dog image. He's so cute. I can't not use him when I come across him again, so I used him in here. And this is a painting that was for sale in a catalog. I don't remember which catalog now, but I loved it because of all the colors on the cow. And then I put this hat on him that was cut out from another catalog. And it just looks so cute. He was cute already, but I thought he was even cuter with a little hat on. So that's what he ended up going on the page that I did the masking on with the flower stencil. So that was fun. This little guy is a clay figure, and so I wanted to use him on a page, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And then I came across this phrase in a magazine, and I was like, oh, my little clay guy is thinking. So I decided to I just cut a fishing pole out of some brown paper in a magazine, and gave him a little fishing pole, and it just worked. I just love it when things work out. It's just so much fun. So I'm excited about having a whole little album just full, and it's just full of color and yumminess and fun. A lot of these phrases and the pictures that go with them just make me smile or laugh, and I just have really enjoyed it. And the best part was using up all that excess paint and actually creating something fun with it, you know? So it don't get much better than that. This is a sweet little picture from a Beatrix Potter calendar. I believe it is a calendar I have, an old one. Got it at the thrift store. This is an example of one of those where I had all this paint on the background paper, and when I decided I wanted to use these little boys on this page, and they were, you know, dressed as cowboys, I went back and added the stars to this page because it just made it work. And this one I did the ransom note lettering like I did in one of my morsels. This is just a lot of fun. So I hope you guys will find a little book and, you know, start throwing some leftover paint in it. It's just amazing what you can create with a book that has paint in it, or pages that have just paint splashed on them, or used up and just smeared all over it. It's really cool. This one, all of this was one picture except for the bird. I added the bird there, and the winter chicken dinner. just too fun. cut this girl out of a magazine. Her hands were propped on something else, and just a white section of the magazine. So I just cut her out, and I found this piece of scrapbook paper that was like wood, so I made it like a little fence. Just put her hands there and her head there, and I love it. It just works. And I loved finding this title, The Shades of Summer, because of all these shades this girl has. Her glasses, her hat, and the umbrella. It just worked. And then this one was fun. I had a bunch of green and purple. Just, you can see the paintbrush marks. So just using that paint out of a brush. And so when I found this image with this purple flowering plant and the green leaves, I knew it was going to work well. So then I took my some stamps that I have that had some leafy patterns and just stamped all around the background, and it just worked. You know, it's just fun. It's very satisfying to create something like this. So I hope you guys will give it a try and find a little inspiration from my book, and make one of your own that you can enjoy. And as always, I thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.